Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, election results are not in. It's looking like, honestly, Biden might take it. America gets what they voted for, so doesn't bother me. I actually want America to see the truth on a widespread scale, but that's a whole different topic. Maybe I'll do a video right after this on that. I don't know. Not even really sure. But you know how I am about parents not recognizing the faults of their children. And that's, I think, as parents, one of the big failures that we do is we don't recognize the faults of our own kids. So when you don't recognize those faults, you don't have a chance to correct those faults. So I'm just going to read you some quotes from this article and show you how this father is so delusioned, it's insane. So this article is from People magazine, or People, or whatever. Kenosha shooting victim's father calls out Trump during Kyle Rittenhouse's hearing. How dare he? No, how dare you raise such a plight on society? Anyway, it's by Jeff Truesdale, and it's dated Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, which was yesterday. I'm just going to read you some quotes from this article. I'm not going to read the whole article because it's pretty much a throwaway and a waste. So, it goes on to state that John Huber said during the hearing Monday, Rittenhouse was an active shooter and my son tried to stop him. My son was a hero. And anyone else says something different, they're dead wrong, including the president. President Trump commented on the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, said it looked like he was trying to get away. And they attacked him, which if you watch the video, they did. They were even shooting at him. So John Huber's son, Anthony Huber, runs up, hits Kyle with a skateboard, knocks him down, proceeds to kick him and continue to attack him with the skateboard. To anybody who doesn't think a skateboard is a very dangerous weapon, I've told you this story before. I have this friend, Brian. I remember Brian first started working at the warehouse. I've known Brian since I started at Western, or started my place of employment, 20 years, right? And he was working at a warehouse. And he worked his way through up. He actually became the manager of the warehouse. Well, one night, him and his family are out celebrating a birthday. Somebody's birthday in the family. And he comes out, and these skater punks are messing with his car. So he said, hey, what are you guys doing? Stop. The one guy hits him with a skateboard. Brian ended up having skull damage. He lost an eye. He suffered a traumatic brain injury. Changed the course of his life. So skateboards are very dangerous. So if somebody races a skateboard at you, that is a dangerous weapon. Proceed to inject them with lead poisoning, if you get what I'm saying. But anyway, I want to go back to this my son was a hero. Crap. The problem is he's just not seeing the bad things his son did. You don't believe me? Let me read them off to you. It's Anthony Huber's charges. Second degree, recklessly endangering safety. Use of a dangerous weapon. Domestic abuse. Strangulation and suffocation. Domestic abuse. False imprisonment. Domestic abuse. Use of a dangerous weapon. Now imagine that use of a dangerous weapon stuff is probably that skateboard. You know, the big hero. Battery. Domestic abuse. Use of a dangerous weapon. Again. Probably should be banned from having skateboards. Maybe we should ban skateboards instead of AR-15s. They seem to be doing a lot of damage. Disorderly conduct. Domestic abuse. Use of a dangerous weapon. Disorderly conduct. Domestic abuse again. Wow. There, John. Sounds like your son is really a hero. I just read off, I believe that's 13 things. But your son's such a hero, right? See, if we're looking at what's going on now in society, go back to Jacob Blake. The mother came out with a level head because she recognized the faults of her son. Right? The father came out, burned it all down, and my son did nothing wrong. Two different parenting types, right? Now, let's go to the parents of Walter Wallace Jr. When they came out and said, we do not want the cops charged with murder in our son's case. They recognized the faults of their kid. And from what I'm reading and from what I'm understanding, tried their best to correct it. Now let's look at this father. His son's a hero. Never did anything wrong. Even though he has 13 counts on him. All stemming from different incidents. At 26 years old. No, your son was wrong. See, that's the thing, parents. I try not to hold parents responsible for everything their kids do. I really try not to. Because there's so many influences. You have the friend influence. And all of us, when we're young, are influenced by our friends. And we do dumb stuff. I did it. I know most of you did it, if not all of you. Now you add in the social media influence. The YouTube influence. Because music is an influence, the music influence. And you add all this in, and it's the only thing I fault parents for really is not seeing the truth about your child. Guess what? John, your kid's not perfect. Your kid's not a hero. Your kid was out there rioting and looting. And see, this is what we're dealing with in the streets. Kids who have parents that do not see their faults and do not correct them. That's why we have what we have going on right now. They're not correcting these young kids. These young adults. They're just letting them do whatever. But you know what? Spread abroad, spoil the child. If you don't correct your kids, society will. Eventually. And I hate to say it, but if you're attacking me with a skateboard, John, if your son, Anthony, is attacking me with a skateboard, you're going to be in the same position. You're going to his funeral because I'm going to kill him. And I would suspect that any citizen trying to protect themselves would do the same thing. Now, look, I've seen the video. I'm not even going to side with Kyle on this. Well, actually, I am. When you're being chased and you can hear the shots in the background as he's running away and shot at, then, yeah, you probably need to return fire. So, yeah, I'm going to side with Kyle on this one. Because if you're chasing me, shooting at me, first of all, I'm not going to run. So we just got to have our gunfight right there. But if you're chasing this kid down the street and he returns fire, guess what? It is what it is. Wrong place, wrong time. Doing stupid stuff. We have a saying in the military. Do what your rank can afford. That means do what you can handle. And if you can handle the consequences of your actions, don't do them. It's ridiculous. But no, we have parents like this who don't believe their kids do anything wrong. So now you look out here in the streets. There's stabbings, rioting, looting, on election night. And the election's not even called yet. The election's not even called yet. They didn't even wait for anybody to say, okay, well, Trump's reelected. Because honestly, it's looking like Biden's going to get it. They still want to riot and loot because they've never been taught that their actions are wrong. I got news for you. You keep this up, society might be teaching you a hard lesson here very soon. Get your stuff together. And if you're the parents of one of these kids that's out there rioting, looting, you have no right to cry. You have no right to say anything when either you're paying a bail. Actually, the United States Attorney General said there's not going to be any bail. We're going to take you in on federal charges, no bail. So don't be crying when your son's in jail, or even worse, attack somebody and gets killed because of it. So we have to correct our kids. You have to have those open eyes, that vision of, hey, we're not going to go for this. I'm your dad. I'm going to tell you what to do. You don't want to listen. You got to learn the hard way. I don't know. Maybe old school parents are just different. Maybe Southern parents are just different. I really don't know. Because you don't see a lot of this stuff in the South. And when you do see it, it's usually from people from California and Washington and Oregon who destroyed their state and have moved to states like Texas and Florida and Georgia. Like locusts, honestly. But no, this John Huber is way out of line, way out of line. Your son's no hero. Your son's a felon, a violent felon. who one shouldn't have been there because he should still be in prison. Tell me how you have all these charges at 26 and you're out on the street. Ridiculous. So, Mr. Huber, if you want to say the criminal justice system failed your son, I completely agree, because he should still be in prison, and maybe he'd learn something. Instead of taking him in, cutting him loose, letting him out. You know, the catch and release Democrat program. I don't know, parents like this just kind of really, get to me. When you don't see the faults of your kids, they're going to make more mistakes. So, get it together, parents. Learn to say, hey, my kid was wrong on this. And I got to put you in line before you make more mistakes like this. So, thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. Just reading through the morning news. This caught my eye. That's one of my issues. Not that it's one of my sticking points. Not that you have complete control of your kids, because nobody has complete control of their kids. That's ridiculous to say. It's ridiculous to think. But that you, as a parent, can recognize your kids' faults and at least attempt to try to correct them. Because when you don't, you're doing a disservice to that child, and you're doing a disservice to the community in which they are. So, thank you for watching this episode of The Dan Dawson Show. Like, subscribe, share, do what you got to do.